The government has set out to bridge the gap in education, but with most state schools on the brink of breaking point, will this extra funding reach where it's needed most or become another drop in the ocean?
More specifically, the number of students with special educational needs and disabilities, also known as SEND, has only increased in recent years. But there's a problem. There's a growing need for SEND funding, but the pot of money for this support is decreasing.
This has left schools and families up against a never-ending battle, and as the crisis deepens, one urgent question remains. How long do we have before these children are left behind forever? Nearly 20% of students in England are identified as having SEND. Of those, less than half have a care plan that meets their needs. That leaves over 1 million students without adequate support.
I'm here at Old Bexley Primary School in Kent to explore how one school is coping with this issue.
This school has multiple SEND children with varying needs within each year, but like most regular state schools, it simply doesn't have the resources or training to support every type of disability.
Well, some are non-verbal. So, and this is like year 2 children who are non-verbal, so they cannot access the curriculum at all. We've had a few children who have repeated reception, a few parents who have started their children here at Old Bexley, a mainstream school, but you know, with all the best intentions, this is not the right place.
This school has no choice but to offer what it can, especially for pupils like Reggie, who has autism and is non-verbal.
Reggie and Jacob have got a very, very strong bond. Reggie trusts Jacob and will do as Jacob asks him to do. Reggie is very wary of people that he doesn't know and won't respond to them at all.
Reggie, can you show me what you're playing with?
But if Jacob is there, it does seem to help.
Reggie also has a twin brother, Joe. They both started education together at the same time.
Me and Reggie are both 6.
You and Reggie are both 6. And what year in school are you?
Year 1 and Reggie's in the socks on still.
Reggie has been held back a whole school year. He has a care plan, but it still isn't enough. He needs access to a specialist school, but the future is uncertain for him.
There was talks of keeping him back again, but they legally can't do that in Old Bexley, so he will have to go into year 1, probably sit in a corridor at a table.
As a mum, how does that make you feel?
I cry all the time, to be honest with you. I'm always stressed. Yeah, it's hard, but you just got to keep fighting. You've got to keep doing it. And everyone tells you that does help you. You can't give up because that's what they want. So with work and looking after Reg and doing all that, it's terrible. How it's run, it's terrible.
So what's going wrong here? I asked the local council for a statement on their current special educational needs strategy. They acknowledged the growing demand and told me they're doing all they can. In 2023, they received 2 injections of funding for special needs education, which added up to nearly 40 million. But if tens of millions in funding still isn't enough, what's really happening inside local councils?
They do seem quite reluctant to give out these care plans.
Councils definitely are reluctant. I mean, a lot of them are essentially breaking the law. Lots of councils wrongly refuse to give pupils EHCPs, knowing that they probably should, but that has become a tactic because for the council, they're like, well, we can't afford to give out this many EHCPs, so, we'll refuse as many as we can.
And Reggie's family aren't the only ones that feel alone in a system that's failing them. Jamie has autism spectrum disorder. He's in reception and has received a care plan. His older brother Sydney is in year 2. He has speech and language needs. Unfortunately, he has not had access to a care plan.
He has been reported as severely behind and delayed with his speech and language. He's been recorded as
position 1 on the centile position. And yet he has never ever received one bit of speech and language from the NHS, and he is 7 years old. How is that right and correct?
However, Sydney is doing his best to power through, with help from his very special older brother Harry, who at school seems to have the life of a normal Year 6 pupil, but at home he takes on a role far beyond his years.
I'd pick up a ball and I would just really emphasise on the word. I would say ball, ball, and I'd make sure that the suffixes and things like that could clearly be heard, so then he can repeat it back to me. Then if he struggles with things like F or J or L, we would work on that for about a day, and then he'd be able to nail it.
But no child should be burdened with the job of a trained therapist. So where do families and schools go from here, and what does the future look like for them?
The future, I'm afraid, is bleak, because the current system is failing, and it's failing year on, and it's failing, consistently, and it's betraying those children who are genuine cases. We're not doing anything different. What we're saying is, we have a crisis, we have more and more children with special educational needs, let's spend more money. No, the answer very rarely in education is a lack of money. You can find debate, you can find argument, you can find celebration, you can find anything you want, but you can't find truth.
But there's one thing we do know to be true, that this crisis will only get worse unless real change happens, so children like Reggie don't fall through the cracks, and families like Harry's aren't left to fight a losing battle, because no child should be left behind.